Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Morning, what a nice day it is. Share the live, share the live, share the live. You would know that we started out this morning without any introduction and all of that, the music. So I'll talk you through for a while. We have some technical difficulties. My colleague is not yet in the studio. He's having some challenges. We're hoping to overcome those challenges in a short while. So in the meanwhile, share the live, let people know that we're on today, Wednesday, the 21st day of December, 2022. Beyond. And we are ready to go. I see lots of people already here, lots of people on YouTube, um, on Facebook or Facebook, as Shared would call it. But we are ready, and well, at least I am ready and willing to go. I am hopeful that Mr. Conway will join us shortly. Well, let me do the roll call. You know, I find it fascinating that some people are here very, very early in the morning, ready and to go. So while we're waiting on others to join, and while you share the live to let people know that you're on, let me run through the roll call. First this morning in class was Natasha G. She came in at 11:08. Very early, very good student. Then we had Vibert. Vibert, you came in number 2, boy. You're coming back up. You used to be number 1. You slipped down a while, but you're now back up at 11:10. Then Jakey, welcome, Jakey, welcome. Not a regular. Dudley, my friend from Jamaica, was here at 11:21. Then we have Barbara B, all the way from Virginia, came in at 11:24. Philip E from Florida, 11:28. Then we had Natasha D at 11:30. Patricia G at 11:33. Princess E from Lamar Springs came in at 11:30. Then we had Kevin D, 11:37. Julian E at 11:39. Isabella B at 11:41. Brendan T. Tamo, how are you, man? Tamo came in at 11:51. Then we had Jean B at 11:52. Winston from California at 11:53. And then we had the Facebook people who came in here almost as soon as we went live. Oren Newton, we have Michelle, we have Lado. Welcome, Lado. Of course, the secretary is here on time. The secretary is here on time. Welcome to you all. Bonita, um, Abdun, my friend from Essequibo Coast. Welcome. William C. Vornan, Ian. We had it's called Lado already. We have Marianne, Heather. All those people are here so early, and ready and rearing to go. While we're still waiting for Mr. Conway to join, he had difficulties again this morning. You know, what we want to call them are always trying to interfere with the program, but they're not gonna succeed. You see, Beverly is here this morning. My squaddy Doreen, all the way from Canada, welcome. Ulrich is here, regular as well. Ulrich is here. Excuse me. Emerson, Leslin, Sharon, all here. Share the live. The class is going to be very interested again this morning. We have Vorlin, season's greetings. Yes, season's greetings to all of you. We're just days away from from Christmas Day. I hope by now you would have completed already. Well, I can't say completed because I have not completed my preparations, but I hope that your preparations are advanced. I know too that at this time, a few days before Christmas, you are going to be very, very busy. So it is I appreciate even more the fact that you have taken time to be with me this morning to share this news. Lynette, Jakey, welcome. June, welcome all, welcome. Share the live. Let them know that we're here. We're gonna get a full class, notwithstanding the fact that we are experiencing challenges and the fact that it's a holiday just a few days ago. Now I see like Mr. Conway is finally trying to get in. Let me continue to fill the gap and hope that he gets in. But he's trying to get in, had some issues, and he seems to be slowly overcoming those issues. Maureen, welcome. As I've said, it's a busy time, Very, very busy. Just 4 days away from Christmas. And I know the weather has not been all that good in Guyana. So therefore, if you have good weather, you have to capitalize on it. I hope you not those people who have to do the cleaning. I hope you have been advanced. Let me say this. In my younger days at Christmas time, and the older people I'm sure will know this, you can't fix up the house too early. You can't finish all the preparations too early. It has to be finished early Christmas morning. So you're in the country there and you hear your neighbor knocking, bang, bang, bang. They're either putting up window blind or they're doing something. And then right through into the Christmas morning, that thing is normally done. So, some people a whole week before and long before they make the preparation. But when I came up as a young man, it had to be finished on the morning itself. That was all part of the excitement. All part of the excitement. So I don't know how you are doing it, whether you're doing it long before or whether you're doing it right into Christmas morning. And for the police ranks who are looking, I know Christmas Eve night is normally a very, very busy night, unless police friend intervene. You know who is police friend? Let me tell you who is police friend. I remember when I was Commander A Division, they used to have a big Christmas Eve line in the vicinity of the cenotaph there by Guyana Stores. That whole area by the library, Guyana Stores, right up to Monishwar, used to be jam, thousands and thousands of people. And there you are working as police, and you're hoping that the police friend will intervene. Police friend is a good shower of rain. That is the only thing that used to save you. A shower of rain will come down. I remember one year around 10:30, 11, the rain came and it never stopped. And the police were the happiest people around because you get the opportunity to get some rest. So all that is part of the Christmas excitement. You have to be there in the crowd, even if you don't have anything to buy. You just be there and you're going around to be part of the season. Yeah, somebody said, Maureen, yes, you're correct, Maureen. Rain is police friend. You are absolutely correct. I still waiting on Mr. Conway to come in. Rain is Rain. Then he said, Rain, Rain is police friend, man. Rain always intervene to help the police. Elise, how are you? I see Patricia. I see Ray. And all of those persons are joining us. Welcome to you all. Welcome, Richard. Welcome. We have Mavis from New Amsterdam, Barbies, and all over. Our people are from all over. Chilo, welcome. South Ramvelt, Leonard from South Ramvelt is here. And welcome to all. We have Maureen from Seattle in the house. We have people from the United Kingdom, people from all across the Caribbean, Barbados, Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago. My friend Dudley and others from Jamaica. My squaddy Doreen and others from Canada. I am looking for my other friend from Canada. I haven't seen him yet because I want him to come so I can give him an early birthday wish. Well, when he comes in, I'll come back to that. So, welcome. Today, like as I said, it's the 21st of December. And I want to let you know that this program started on the 22nd of December 2021. So tomorrow will be 1 year. I see Marlon from Canada. Welcome, Marlon. And Cecile is just here. Dory said when you wake up, you peep it through the window blind to see the neighbor decoration. You're fast, Dory. You're fast. But all that was part of the excitement. Yes, I know. All that was part of the excitement. Leslie, welcome. Leslie from the US, welcome. So yes, tomorrow, December the 22nd, is going to be 1 year since this program started. Now let me say this. This program has become popular beyond my wildest dreams. When I started the program and I said that, look, I'm going to be here to pass on information, especially to the young policemen, to teach them aspects of policing that they are not now taught, I never anticipated that this program would have gotten so popular. Thousands and thousands of people on YouTube, on Facebook, all the comments, all the encouragements. I am overwhelmed by them. And that has encouraged me to strive for even greater things in the new year. We will see how best we can improve the program going into 2023. But I am very elated at the responses that we have had and the way this program has grown in 1 year. 1 year, and this program has become so popular. So much so that when a few weeks ago, there was no broadcast on a Wednesday. Oh God, people gone crazy. People called, asked other questions people were asking. And despite all the challenges, such as we are having now, where Mr. Conway is unable to get on, we are going to do our level best to continue to keep the program and to bring, somebody said, Francis, daily program. It's not easy, you know. We have things to do. We have other things to do, Francis. It's not easy to be here, even once a week. And you know, one of the reasons, let me say this to you. We don't want to come here and tell you things that are not true and to bring rumors and all of that. We want to make sure that the information is credible, accurate information, because we are aware that this program is monitored perhaps more than any other program for us to make a slip. And then you hear they're going to talk about cybercrime. They're going to talk about people being emotionally challenged and disturbed. Some of them are mentally challenged, but they're not complaining. They're not complaining about that. But they're going to complain about being emotionally distressed. So we have to make sure that the information is accurate. It requires research. It requires a lot of time. So it is not easy, but we are going to stay with it. We are going to stay with it. So again, as I wait for Mr. Conway, you know, we always start by telling you it is good to be in the land of the living. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. And we have to give thanks and praise to the Almighty for keeping us in the land of the living. Thanks and praise for keeping us, for allowing us to be here this morning with you. We are humbled by the opportunity. And again, you know, sad news this morning, sad news. Those of you who've been following the news in Guyana would have seen this tragic incident on the Pomeroon River, where two children, one and one 5, drowned. I think it was Monday night. They were there with another sibling and the parents traveling along the Pomeroon River during the course of the night. And it is reported in the media that the boat struck some what we said, some log, something it struck, it capsized, and the two the 1-year-old and the 5-year-old died. But before I go further, let me give you good news. I see Mr. Conway is here. Let me bring him in to see if he can join me. Conway, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Hold on, let me fix this because I don't think we can hear you. Hold on, we're getting there, getting there. Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you all the time.
And we can hear you, yay! And we can hear
Yeah.
you. So welcome.
Thank you, boy.
I was killing some time hoping that you'd be here, so I'm elated that you have been able to join me now. I was just telling them, our loyal viewers, about the tragic incident on the Pomeroon River, where two children, 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. That is so sad. That is
Yeah.
so sad. They were traveling along the river with their parents. The boat struck something and then it capsized. And they said there was also another one there. I think it was a 7-year-old held on to some floating thing. But the other two, yesterday morning, they found the 1-year-old and the 5-year-old. That thing hurt me so much when you hear. Imagine at this time of the year, especially Christmas time, the whole village must be so in shock as to this incident. And then we have two on the quarantine at number 50. Another sad incident with an 11-year-old. The mother, the report is that the mother left to go out on the road about 150 yards away to buy fish from some vehicle or someone who was selling fish. And then another child ran to tell her something was wrong with this 11-year-old. When she ran back into the yard, found the 11-year-old lying there, rushed to the hospital, pronounced dead on arrival. Imagine a few days before Christmas, so tragic, so tragic. And then last Saturday, again, you know, we said Christmas time, people shopping and trying to get themselves in order for Christmas. on the west coast or somewhere there, East Bank, Essequibo, somewhere along there, a minibus ran into a woman who was standing on the corner of the road, somewhere in some shop, and killed her. I noted this in this morning. It is reported that the driver is charged for causing death for dangerous driving. He appeared in court yesterday and was remanded to prison. But this thing is so sad, and that is even more reason why those of us who are here in the land of the living have to give praise and thanks to the Almighty. I want to take this opportunity to extend condolences to the relatives, parents, and all those persons who are associated with those deceased persons. So sad at this time of the year. CC?
Yes, Paul. So sad, and I read both reports in the Pomeroon River and the one on the Quarantine Coast.
Yes, very, very sad indeed. I indicated earlier that tomorrow, December the 22nd, is going to be 1 year since I started this program. And I was expressing my pleasure at the way in which this program has grown exponentially. Now we have thousands of people on YouTube, Facebook, following this program. All the comments, all the encouragement, and I am extremely happy because of that. And to you too for joining me and assisting me in sharing this information that people so much look forward to when the week is up. People look forward. Some people have suggested that maybe we should go every day, and I told them it is not easy because we have to do a lot of research and to make sure we have accurate information. We don't want to come and just talk for talk's sake. We want to bring you information that you will find credible, you will find interesting. SCC?
Yeah, that's true. And I'm so happy that you bring me on board. I know we were co-accused, co-conspirator, but to be co-host, it's has been a blessing, a blessing to me and to other persons.
Yes, and thank you for accepting the invitation to join. Thank you much for accepting. And share the live, continue to share the live. People have happy anniversary. Thank you, Carlton. And as I said, we will continue. Now, see the first subject. Well, before we go into the subject, I see we have Jakey and we have Ulrich. We have other people who are sports enthusiasts. I know you yourself is a sports enthusiast. I don't think we can go further without saying something about the World Cup final on Sunday. What an awesome match. What an awesome match. Whether you're a lover, whether you're an ardent follower or not, once you follow sports, that was such an exciting final. The result to me did not really matter. The excitement through the game, especially in the second half, was fantastic. Mbappe at his best to equalize. And then Argentina went ahead by 1 goal. And then Mbappe scored again and they came trial. Well, people who are very versed and familiar with football told me, say, look, if the match goes down to penalty, then you have to fancy Argentina, because they were saying to me that the other goalkeeper, the goalkeeper from France, isn't as proficient as the Argentina goalkeeper, and it turned out to be just that. So, did you see the game, CC?
Yes, and I've been following World Cup football since 1966 when England won. I think when Jeff Horst scored an hat-trick. But this was the mother of all matches, man. The mother of all matches.
Yes, indeed. Such a fantastic game. Such an exciting game. And I saw a video this morning, I think it might have been posted yesterday, of Argentina team returning to Buenos Aires. They estimate the streets had about 4 million people. About 4 million. I saw something all on the overpass, all over. It shows that sport is such a wonderful unifier. Sports is such a wonderful thing, and it was good. Chilo is saying the best World Cup finals, and I concur. I've been watching. I'm one of these persons who the scrubby games. I don't look at the scrubby games. I like to see, even in basketball, and I wait for the playoffs. In football, I wait for the big games, and I could tell you, it was so exciting. It was so exciting. You have to have a good pump or a good heart to really endure all that type of excitement. And then again for the sports enthusiasts, yeah, Orin, welcome, Orin. Orin, welcome. Orin from the UK has just joined us. Let me say this. We coming out to cricket, Ulrich. Ulrich, not so long ago, West Indies went down under to Australia and they got some good licking. Blows like close, blows like first time. And quite rightly, we were all critical of them. But the thing is put into context now when South Africa lost the test match, the first test match in 2 days. South Africa lost the first test against Australia in 2 days. So it puts, in my mind, it puts West Indies' performance now in context. And I don't want to big them up, but I want to say perhaps they were not as awful as we really thought. And having said that, CC, I know he's a cricket follower too. Did you see that 2 day licking that Australia inflicted on South Africa?
But it wasn't too much of a licky, because I think if Australia had 50 to win in the second innings, it might have been some worries there because they were reeling 4 down
Yeah,
for 20 something.
yeah, but then I saw the ICC report on the pitch which say that it was below average.
Yeah.
They was very critical. The ICC report very critical of the wicket that
Mm.
was used. So that is all for sport. You got to keep, as we say, it's not only about crime and statistics and the police. We bring you information that I'm sure you'll find interesting. Now,
Uh-huh.
you see the main issue. One of the main issues here is recently I saw the Attorney General making a statement. He's reported to have made a statement that the government proposed to repeal the Cybercrime Act. Did you see that? They want to repeal the Cybercrime Act?
Yes,
Or
I
what are
saw
your
it,
views? What are your
I,
views on
I,
that?
I saw it, and I must say that it should be repealed, because it is very destructive and it is against the what we call the Constitution of Guyana, It runs conflict with the Constitution of Guyana. I have some notes I'm trying to pick up here. Um, just move on. Let me get my
Yeah, all right,
notes.
good, right. Let me for while Mr. Comey tried to find his notes and put himself together, let me say my views. I agree that it should be repealed. But I saw a statement from the Working People's Alliance, WPA, in which they are calling for the police to review the cases, those cybercrime cases that are before the court. And while I agree it should be repealed, I don't believe um, the police should review anything. I believe at this stage the DPP should intervene. She has shown an inclination to intervening in certain matters and discontinuing it. And I am saying that if we're talking it, the government is saying that the Cybercrime Act is so bad that it should be repealed. I am of the view that all the matters under that act that are before the court, the DPP should intervene, similar to how she intervened in the matter against the ranks at Soku, similar to how she intervened against the attorney who is alleged to have spat on the female officer. She should intervene and discontinue the proceedings in all those matters. And interestingly, so even while they are talking about repealing of the act, only last week I read in the media where a man from somewhere in this bank is charged under the same act because he made some publication on TikTok, the social media TikTok, about the man who sits in the chair and I think Brutus. I don't know what, I haven't seen what it is, but the report is that he posted something on TikTok and therefore he's charged and he's before the court. And I'm aware that even recently, as recent as this week or over the weekend, a serving police rank has been arrested because he posted something. He had been arrested under the Cybercrime Act because he's alleged to have posted something against a senior police officer. So I'm saying that if the government is so convinced that this act is so bad that it should be repealed, then the DPP should step in and discontinue all of those proceedings. We know about the BASCOM. BASCOM made statements and is charged before the court, 2 or 3 charges in relation to the same Cybercrime Act. So my take is that if this act is so bad, then the DPP should not as the WPA call for the police to reconsider police can reconsider as much as they want. But remember, the constitutional authority is the DPP. And I am saying that if this thing is so bad, then perhaps it is the right time for the DPP to intervene and to discontinue all those cybercrime charges that are currently before the court. Mr. Conway?
Yeah, Paul, and let me try to put things in context. I'm no attorney at law, but I had some legal training. And I know that the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana is the supreme law. And any law that runs, that collides with the Constitution has got to bow down to the Constitution. It's become fatal. Here is what the Constitution says. And I'm quoting Article 146(1). And I don't want to say Conway say or pass through say. This way it say, except with his or own consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his or her own freedom of expression. That is to say, freedom to hold opinions without interference, freedom to communicate ideas and information without interference, and freedom from interference with his or her correspondence. It is very, very clear. And the thing now is that if you talk something about the president or against his kin or his cousin, and they don't like it, you get charged under the Cybercrime Act. And the Cybercrime Act is running into conflict. It is colliding with the Constitution. Therefore, it has to bow down. And it is a fate, and it is fatal. So I'm saying that the cybercrime should be repelled. And added to that, I read recently that Vice President Jack Dio went to the UAE and signed some cybercrime agreement. We didn't have any information more, but just that he signed some cybercrime agreement. And UAE is very famous for interfering with the human rights, violating the human rights of its citizens. So we know what was going on with that agreement that Jack Dio signed. But I'm saying that any law that collides with the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana has got to bow down to the Constitution, and it is a fatal mistake. So I'm saying, get rid of it.
Yeah, because the Constitution, as you rightly points out, guarantees you freedom of expression. But here it is: if you make certain expression, you say certain things, then you are charged for violating the Cybercrime Act. So long ago, we know that false name, even now in the country, false name is a popular thing. So here it is, a man on computer now. You call a man Trench Crapo, you call a man Jagabat, you call a man something. The man say that he's emotionally affected by that statement, and he goes to the police, and the police institute charge against the Cybercrime Act. This is madness. This is madness. And again, I say that if, and this is according to the Attorney General says that the action will repeal, and they say they're going to bring it in line with some United Nations convention or some act for the United Nations. If this thing is so bad, you are saying it is so bad, the DPP should take notice, and the DPP should intervene to discontinue all of the cybercrime cases. All that is my take on it. All of the cybercrime cases, because they got, and hear this further. Hear this: the government is known to go to Parliament and to use their one-seat majority to get things their way. So if you want to repeal, in my layman's view, you can go at the next sitting and have it repealed. You can go to the next sitting and have it repealed. So to come and tell us that you are going to repeal it, and it's just words. We want to see action. And the WPA, in that statement, I read it this morning, has some reservations, because they say if you're going to repeal, tell us what you're going to put in there, because you might very well repeal this and put in something that is worse. So we want to see what this thing is all about. Mr. Conway? Yes, CC.
Totally agree with you. It is against the Constitution, which is the supreme law of Guyana. Therefore, it must be struck out
It must
immediately.
Go. It must go. Right. And the next issue I want us to address here is this arrest. I did put in the notification for this morning's program that we're going to talk about the arrest of the mayor. I look on with, well, utter surprise. You would say that how things are going, you really should not be surprised. But yet still, when certain things occur, um, you are caught and you are surprised. I was looking, I think it was last week, Thursday or sometime, to see this standoff in New Market Street by the hospital there, with persons from the ministry who went to remove the stalls that were there. Police involved. The police are being used to get involved in all kind of thing. So it is no longer when you have these issues that a report is made to the police, an assessment is done, and then the police goes to those things and to ensure that there is no breach of the peace. So if stalls are to be removed and the police feels that they should be there, your role is to make sure that there's no breach of the peace. But the police getting involved because they are given directions and they are going beyond the mandate. That is my view. They're going. So you have a situation where the mayor is there, parliamentarian Mr. Duncan is also there, and then I think they call off the operation that night. Lo and behold, lo and behold, the police in numbers find themselves in the office of the mayor to effect an arrest of the mayor and Mr. Duncan. Mr. Conway, help me out here, man. Help me. Can't like me, police teaching can't allow me to understand what really transpired. Help me out.
Paul, I look at it and I was alarmed that you would arrest the mayor for, began again, breach of the Cyber Crime Act and some traffic obstruction. Even let's say for the sake of argument, you wanted to prosecute the mayor. There are two ways you can do that. You can arrest him or you could summon him. And summon would have been the easiest way, although I don't think they have enough evidence. But the thing is, it was a ridiculous, Paul. I look at the police, I think is a superintendent, get a piece of paper reading a caution. That caution should be in his head. Read and then according to the law, it says that you must be told in simple language that you understand and in detail. The caution, he tell him man that he obstruct somebody. What is obstruction? So you got to say exactly what it is that the person done. He must be told in detail. It is written in the Constitution that you must be told in simple language, in language that you understand, and in detail what is the charge, what his charge is about. And I look at it, he was maybe about 1 mile away from the mayor. Maybe he was observing the COVID-19 protocol. But the arrest mean that apart from there must be some form of touching or restraining, as the case may be. And then you arrested the mayor. I look at it. If you arrest somebody, you need to search them. You might find articles that you're looking for. You might find things in relation to additional charge. You prevent the person from injuring himself or injuring you, from damaging private or public property. And you're protecting, you're having safe custody of the prisoner's property. Here is it. The mayor arrested, no search. Perhaps he would have found a lighter and a sponge. And when he goes in the lockup, he might have found a piece of wire. And more to it, the mayor is a licensed firearm. Well, perhaps he had this firearm on him. I remember when I was unlawfully arrested by Suku. For 8 hours, I had my firearm on me. They didn't search me. So the whole thing sounds like a mockery. And the officer in charge of crime, I think, in a division is not au fait with caution before charge. Maybe just like Sukutu, where they want to fait with caution before charge and caution after charge. You got to read from a piece of paper. That should be in his head. That should be in his head. And I'm talking about searching persons after you arrest them. You might save your life. You might save the life of others. You might find evidence that you're looking for, and you're protecting the person's property, as the case may be. That was total nonsense what I saw. And after they told him that he was under arrest, there is it. The mayor was allowed to use his phone and thing. And Duncan was also allowed to streamline things from there. So what really was going on? and total ridiculous, Paul.
Yeah, well, I agree. But let me say this further. Let's look at the obstruction allegation in the first instance. You claim that this person obstructed the traffic, I guess, the night before or days before. What ridiculous. So if a person obstructed the traffic, this is not a continuing offense where you have to arrest. This is something that you're saying occurred hours before. So why the need for to arrest? I was taught that in a case like that, you take statements and you proceed by way of summons. And I read in the media that the police legal advisor advises the police to about these charges, and then here this man is telling the legal advisor is telling the police that they should obtain statement from the driver. So you're instituting a charge of obstruction, and you don't have statement from the driver. That convinces me that this whole thing is political. And let me say this, without any fear of successful contradiction. There is no way the police, even as inefficient as they are now, are going to take it upon themselves to say that they're going to the mayor's office to arrest the mayor for obstruction and whatever other allegation is there hours after. That must have been directions from the politicians. I say this, let them bring things to, let them contradict me. I am saying this. The fact that the mayor was arrested long after this incident, obstruction, this is not a continuing offense. You can arrest for obstruction, yes, if the obstruction continues and you want to make sure that the carriageway is clear. I know you can go and you can arrest the person to have that. But it's a case where this whole thing had blown over. The whole thing had finished because we understand that the ministry called off the dogs, so to speak. And long after, they went to the office of the mayor. And I didn't recognize the person who was reading the thing, but it's a superintendent of police. A superintendent of police pull out a piece of paper and he reading. And when he finished reading, he ends by saying, "You're under arrest." And then makes no attempt to arrest the person. Look, these young policemen who are listening here, these young policemen who are listening, take note. He reads, this is a superintendent of police, I understand, a detective superintendent, of course, recently promoted, who reads charges to a person. He ends by saying that you are under arrest and makes no attempt to arrest the person. Arrest is the taking of a restraining of a person from his or her liberty so that he can be forthcoming to answer a charge or to appear at a station or so. That is what an arrest is. And I know, and I looked at the thing, and Mr. Duncan, he does then the program, he say he do law and all of these things. I don't know how steep in the law the mayor is, but they actually arrested themselves because until such time that they agreed to go with the police, they were not properly arrested until such time. Because I understand part of the training is a state of mind thing too. So if the police tell you that you're under arrest and they didn't make any attempt to arrest you and you did not make any attempt to go with them, you're not properly arrested. You are not properly arrested. So for the young policeman, if you're going to tell a person that he or she is under arrest, you have to make some overt attempt to arrest that person. You have to do that. If you don't do that, and the person decides that they're not under arrest and they're not going with you, you have not arrested them. But in this case, the mayor and Mr. Duncan decides, well, look, we are going to go with the police. So in other words, they then give in. And I think the law is that from the time they made that move, then they're deemed to have been properly arrested. So it's teaching. It is teaching. So understand and learn this thing. And the young policemen I'm talking to, because some of these older ones, they are lost cause. Because if you have a superintendent of police who can read a caution before charge and who can memorize these charges and even make attempts to arrest the person, is a sad day. And Mr. Conway, you're right about searching. It was only this morning I was reading on something in the US where a lawyer was shot and killed. Apparently he was mediating some issue with a couple, some issue, and one of the person, the man there, just pull out a gun and open fire. And again, it is important for your safety and the safety of others. If you're going to arrest someone, you have to make sure they're charged. I always refer to the incident at Sparndam police station with Gun Youth and Constable Aldridge. Gun Youth was a known criminal arrested on the Sparndam public road just outside the Sparndam police station. We call it Pleasance police station. Taken into the police station. He wasn't searched. The man had a gun in the crotch. He pulled out the gun. He shot Aldridge dead. Gun Youth, I think he died some years ago, I'm not sure. But Aldridge, because I remember Aldridge well, his mother used to be the barrack laborer at Leonora police station, young policeman that we all knew, shot and killed him. And at that stage, it was re-emphasized, I think McDonald was commissioner of CID at the time, that we taught the police, once you are going to arrest, there's a process to be gone through. And you know, you look all over, look at the media. Once the police in the US arrest you, the next thing over, time we tell you on the arrest is your hand behind your back. After you handcuff, your hand behind your back, and they handcuff you with your hands behind your back. And the reason that is so, because they have had the experience where you handcuff a man with his hands in front of him, and then he reach you, take out the police gun, take out some other thing, and injure the police. So those are standing operational procedure. So, and then the next thing about this thing, CC, this issue about, you know, we talk about the natural justice and presumption of innocence. Apparently, doesn't apply any longer in Guyana, because no sooner than, you know, people to say, again, I got to reflect, I got to relate to this countryman thing. Your mother or your grandmother send you in the shop to buy something, you got to come back quick. They spit on the ground, and they say, hey, make sure you come back before the spit dry. Because if you delayed and the spit dried by the time you come back, it's punishment. So in this case, before the spit could dry, the GDF issued a statement saying that the mayor is decommissioned or whatever term they use. So the first thing that struck me, again, political directions. How is it this man is alleged to have done something wrong? The man who's a mayor, and they say he was a staff sergeant in the reserve. He's alleged to have done something wrong. He hadn't even perhaps appear in court yet, or maybe just appear in court, and he's presumed to be guilty. You find him guilty, so you're taking him off the strength and all of that. Guyana cannot be a real place. Guyana cannot be a real place. Mr. Conway, help me out here, man.
And you can't disembody me unless I'm embodied. If the man was on actual duty or the call out on actual duty as a reservist, then you can do that. But not when he's on his own. But then getting back to the restraining, you know, perhaps they didn't learn because during the Suku incident with the atonement law, one of the sergeants black she from leaving the place, restraining her from leaving the place. And let me just go back to this thing about caution, and it's Article 144(2) of the Constitution of Guyana, and it talks the person shall be informed as soon as practicable in a language that he or she understands and in detail of the nature of the charge. So don't tell me that I obstruct people. Tell me exactly what is the investigation, what is it that I did, as the case may be. So they're breaching the Constitution too also, Paul.
Yeah, well, yeah, and as I said, but then the police legal advisor, you know, the claim now that they have, well, not that they claim, it is true, they have so many people who were recently admitted to the bar, 4 of them, and you have the police legal advisor. The legal advisor advises charge, and after he advises charge, he's also saying that they must get statements from driver to establish the offense of obstruction. Now, how can you advise charge when you have already instructed for charge to be, how can you ask the statements to be collected when you've already established? You saying that there is a prima facie case, so you're telling them they must charge, and then when you don't charge, you must go and get statement. In a matter like obstruction, we understand in complex matters, yeah, you might charge even though the investigation is not complete, and then you move because you would have established enough evidence, you would have adduced enough evidence to establish the charge, and you continue investigation. But in this case, obstruction charge, and get statement from the driver. So if you don't get statement from the driver, what's gonna happen? I know what gonna happen there. You get a statement from the driver, the statement is gonna be concocted because they will
Yeah.
tell the driver what to say. And I want to say this again to the young policemen and the not so young ones who still can learn. Buddy, this thing what people doing that you run to arrest, it is wrong. When a report is made, depending on the nature of the report, once the offense is not continuing, once the person, the victim, is not seriously injured, I was taught that you take a statement from the person to establish the offense. I know that you have cases now for the time the report is made. No statement, you're gone on your arrest. Wrong. Again, I said depending on the nature of the, if it's an injury, well, then you have to take the person to seek medical attention, right? But for example, like an obstruction, not a continuing offense. Get statements first. Get statement. And in a case like this, as Mr. Conway pointed out, what happened to summons? You proceed, you warn the person, you proceed by way of summons. That avoids all type of flashpoint and controversy. But you see, people want to make political statements. They want the mayor is arrested. And I know because on October the 15th last year, that's what he attempted to do to me. So even when I appeared in court in pursuant of a challenge of a summons filed by Ramana, right? Ramana is at court to arrest me for the same charge because why? One, they're ignorant of the law. They don't know procedure and standing order and all of that. And two, they want to embarrass you. So they're going to arrest you, let you do what they call the pork walk, put you on handcuff. But I'm not going to allow them to violate my rights to that extent. I was not going to allow them. So even though they restrain me, they box me in the corner, I can't move, they will lamp for me, and they manhandle me, and so on. It shows that one, they lack knowledge, and two, the aim is to embarrass. So in the case of the mayor, Sheriff Juncan, arrest Big Nice to take him take him to the station. And then again, I'm not in the mind, look, this thing is so ridiculous. You arrest the mayor in his office and Duncan, and police putting you on how much $100,000 bail and all sort of nonsense. All of those things are wrong. The mayor is arrested for whatever reason. Sheriff Duncan, who's a known politician, is arrested for whatever reason. I believe that you just put them on a recognizance to turn up in court. There's no need for money to be lost. They are known persons. There's not a case where you believe they are going to flee the jurisdiction. But again, it's just that they're doing this to embarrass persons. Mr. Conway.
I agree. And then getting back to the arrest, in the mayor's office, they had ample opportunity on the night in question. They had I count in excess of 24 police ranks outside of the Joshua Hospital. If the mayor was obstructing, why didn't they arrest him then and carry him to Brickdam? The thing so
Well,
ridiculous.
the answer to that is simply no. They didn't get the instruction yet. They didn't get the
Okay.
instruction yet, so they couldn't move to arrest. But once they get the instructions, then they move, according to the man who sits in the chair, they move with alacrity to go to the mayor's office and to arrest him.
Yeah, and you mentioned, that according to the law is that the person making the allegation must be willing to enter into a recognizance
Prosecute such a
to
charge.
prosecute
That's what they
yourself.
say. Exactly.
Yes, that is
Exactly.
your authority to arrest.
Yeah, because the point is with this case, let me say you're obstructing traffic. You can't obstruct a stationary, well, not a stationary, a vehicle that is not being driven, right? So
Yeah.
it is implied that this vehicle was being driven, and the action of the mayor and Mr. Duncan obstructed the vehicle. You have to get a statement from the driver to establish.
Yeah.
You have to get a statement. No bystander or no police can alone by themselves substantiate such a charge. The driver has to say that because of this obstruction, he couldn't move forward as the case would be. That is how police work is done. That is how. But to come and say, and again, this same legal advisor, I don't know him, but he had the issue with Boss Com, you remember, when the
Yes.
magistrate told him to produce some tape and he refused, and then he was arrested and he was detained and all of that. And then this is a man who, according to the media, is advising that they charge obstruction. And then at the same time, he is instructing that they must get statement from the driver. He's instructing them to get statement. So clearly he understands and he realized that whatever they had there before him, if they had anything at all, is not sufficient to establish the charge. So that is why he would have gone on to tell them, say, well, look, get statement from the driver or drivers, as the case may be. This thing is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and it shows the extent of the political interference in the Guyana police force. And I say again, without any fear of successful contradiction, I know you're going to get them, they're going to lie. The mendacity will flow to the front, that there's no way police in traffic that deals with obstruction, police at the other levels are going to do that without direction from some politician. The politicians would have directed them to go to the mayor's office and arrest him. They would have given those instructions. Mr. Conway.
Paul, you're talking about political interference. During the week, I was reading an article originating from Trinidad, giving some advice to Eula Christopher, and she's a female, and she's now acting as the commissioner, acting for Commissioner McDonald Jacob. And here is what Gary Griffith said, and it's very instructive. Here we tell the commissioner, the acting commissioner, do not fall victim of political dictates, which requires one to go after opposition politician. Resist efforts to stymie investigation of government officials or friends or those in high office. And finally, to not be afraid of turning around the crime rate. Very instructive, talking about political interference in the police force.
Well, I hope there can be someone in Guyana who can, well, even if you were to advise the current crop of senior police officers, I don't think he's gonna make any headway, because I think many of them are so inept that they really don't know what to do. They can't offer proper advice, because that is what you will do. You know, when you see these things, you have to reflect. We were there in the times of Larry Lewis, and in particular, and you know, people say a lot of things about Larry Lewis, but Larry Lewis used to stand up for certain things. CCU, we know that certain things
We know that.
they couldn't pull certain things, certain instructions, political instructions with Larry Lewis. He would tell them plain. I remember they have letters. I saw recently where Minister Gadraj attempted to intervene in the postings of officers in the Guyana police force, and Larry Lewis had to put him to his place. And when he was reluctant to back down, Larry Lewis wrote to the president then, Jack Dale, to tell him, quote the Constitution, quote the Police Act, to tell him that the minister has no authority to direct him as to the posting, because that is an operational matter.
Operational,
according to the Police Act, the minister should have nothing to do with operational matter. But you have people now, they don't get no stones, they don't have knowledge, so whatever they're told to do, they just jump and they do it. And that is the problem that you have. And that is why the force continues to slip, despite all what they're saying. I saw this morning a statement by the crime chief. A statement is set to be made by the crime chief about the reduction of murder, and he compares it to Trinidad. Did you see that, CC?
Yeah, I saw that. And another, maybe Paul, on another episode we can talk about the crime stats, because they're judging efficiency by the percentage increase and percentage decrease.
Well, let me
And
say
people
this.
are stuck the stats.
But no, let me say this. If
Ghosting.
you're gonna talk about murder, if you're gonna compare the murder rate in Guyana to the murder rate in Trinidad, yes, Trinidad had a astronomical murder rate. But then you have to disaggregate, because when you talk about murder, the murder that bothers people are the what we call the felony murders and the domestic murder, right? So felony murder, and tell me how much felony murder you solve. Because with the domestic murder and the disorderly murder, there's most cases that is straightforward and clear cut. Two men fight,
Yeah.
one kill the other. There's a straightforward case. Doesn't call for much investigation to know who the perpetrator was. Same thing with domestic murder. You got a domestic murder where a man kill his wife or a wife kill the thing. Straightforward. So don't tell me about overall murder figure. The murder, the type of murder that is really concerning to most persons are what we call the felony murder. And for those
Yeah.
people who are not aware, again, it's teaching, felony murder really is the murder committed in the action while committing some other crime. Some man break into home to commit a robbery, he kills the occupant of the home, there's a felony murder. That is the type of murder that is worrying people. Execution style murder. So you have the Fagundes murder, you have the one in Regent Street where you riddle a man with a AK-47. That is the type of murder that worries people. So if you want to make the comparison, then tell me how many of those there were, how many of those you were able to clear up. I mean, you're talking about the cleaning up of murder and one of the most sensational murders, not so far away from the president's official residence, you can solve, right? In the light of all the technology that you say you have, and you can't solve it. So again, as you said, CC, we got to come next time and deal with this
Yeah.
figures again, because if you're going to talk about figures too about serious crime, you have to compare apples with apples. So, for
True.
example, you have 12 categories of serious crime that Larry Lewis put together in the 90s, and you're using that. If you want to compare your statistics with other countries, you have to look at the same 12. You have to look at the
Yeah.
same 12. You can't look at the overall number and say that your number is less than them when they might be using other crimes in their matrix. So these people has come with all manner of things and believe that we're stupid. We big, but we aren't stupid. That's easy.
That's true, and we need to sit down maybe in an episode and just deal with the crime situation, the stats. The stats don't tell a true story.
Yes,
And,
and
and,
and,
and
and moving on, it's almost an hour already. Moving on.
yeah,
Um, the other thing that I teased in the notification is the fact that this State House incident. Let me hear your take on this State House incident last Thursday.
maybe more feel anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Here is it: a civilian gain entry into the compound where the president is living, stab up a guard, stole a weapon from another one, left the compound, discharged some wrongs and thing, and then they responded and he get injured. What happened with the SOPs? How in heaven's name could, or which part of the world a man could walk in the place there and stab up a police and take away a weapon from somebody? What about the protocols? What about the SOPs? It's ridiculous. And then I heard rapid automatic gunfire. Praise God that no innocent bystander didn't get shoot or get injured. But then the thing starts from the top, from the head. Here is it that you took a man on pre-retirement leave who is a technical man, an electronic man, and electronic man who has no training whatsoever in terms of protective security, in terms of executive security, and he is the head of the presidential guard. And we look at it in these modern times, how is the gate opening manually? They can't open gate electronically. Well, man, so much of things that went wrong. It stinks to high heaven. And I'm gonna let you talk. Put on other things, man.
Well, yeah, this is a worrying incident, a worrying incident. Let me start by saying that I had the privilege of being the head of the Presidential Guard back there for a period of time when Dr. Jagan was the president. So I understand something as to how the Guard operates. Now, first of all, State House is not a public place. In other words, not a place where the public will go to do business. So one would expect that if the security is properly trained and they are alert, from the time the person approached that enclosure, because it's a security enclosure, they have magnetometer to make sure that you can't go in there with metal and firearm and all of that. Yet still, according to their report, their sketchy report, this man was able to walk off the street. Perhaps he passed through the magnetometer. He had a knife. They're saying that he had a knife. He got so close to this guard. And let me pause to say that I want to take this opportunity to wish the rank a speedy recovery. Right? That we hope that he recovers fully and quickly. So he pulls out a knife. There's a counter what they report. He stabs the policeman who is there, because of the persons who are watching and listening here, members of the Presidential Guard are police. They are members of the Guyana Police Force. The Presidential Guard is a unit within the Guyana Police Force. So he stabs the policeman who is there, relieves another, they say a female who was there, of our pistol. They describe it as a 9mm pistol. And interestingly, he doesn't go further. Once he arms himself with this firearm, they claim that he exited the compound into Carmichael Street. Some other people say other street, but based on the videos, Carmichael Street, they claim that he shot and he was pursued and he was shot and he was injured. So again, you rightly point out, what is the protocol? How was this man allowed to get so close to the rank on duty? You saw somebody approaching, at least you should have seen, if you're there on duty, you see this man approaching. You got to stop. He comes through the magnetometer. What, is that working? They did not indicate that he had some metal object on him to alert you that something is going wrong. And then, having stabbed one person, the other person is there and the man relieves that other person of the firearm. This is slackness to the highest order. This is slack. I am thankful, despite what the man has not said what was his motive and all of that. You have all type of rumors. The Ministry of Home Affairs issued a statement to say that the man was shot and presumed dead. That is the Ministry of Home Affairs, the ministry responsible for national security. That is what they're saying. Then the police claim to say there was an alleged shooting incident. Well, I don't know how it was an alleged shooting incident when in the same report you're pointing out that rounds were fired. Can't be alleged if you think. See, remember years ago somebody had spoken about an alleged fire. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Can't be alleged.
yeah.
Can't be alleged shooting. There was a shooting incident. There was a shooting incident. You might not know the motive, but at least it was not an alleged shooting incident. That is what the police said. And then the release come about to say that the man is a Asian. Then they say he's Nigerian. Then somebody say, well, it must have been some triangular love affair. They're claiming that the man, you're getting licks. Somebody giving you licks, and he went there to settle his score with the person. All of these things. But you know what is disturbing in all of this? This is an incident at the official residence of the president. Let me say this, regardless of what is your political bias and who you back in, this is the president of the country. And therefore, one expects that if you're going to provide security, it must be of the highest order. I don't care. I am not a favorite because of what they have done to me. But I'm saying this, regardless, you have to protect the leader of the country, the political leader of the country, whether you like him or not, is there. And one would expect that the people who are there will ensure that the best protection is offered. So all of this happened, all type of rumors spread around the place. And the man who sits in the chair of the commissioner of police or no other senior officer saw it fit to face the media and to clarify exactly what happened. And that is standard operational procedure in any self-respecting police force. Look at the TV. They have a shooting incident in the US or any major incident, almost as soon as possible. You have a press conference, they will give you the facts. They don't go into speculation. In this case, this is what happened. Man went there, don't go into no speculation. That is the training. I remember training at the FBI in media relations, and that is the one thing they tell you very early, so as to dispel all the rumors and all the speculation. You say what has happened, and then you keep the public informed through the media. In this case, in these areas, the police has a social media web page. Nothing to keep persons up to this day. 1 week after, nothing. I think yesterday you heard from the crime chief is that they said the man is off the ventilator and they are waiting for an opportunity to interview him. This thing is so ridiculous. It shows the incompetence of those persons. And I wrote a letter which was published in the media on Sunday. I pointed out that in the wake of the allegation by Dian Boscom that monies, large sums of money, he said $30 million was paid to ranks of the serious crime unit to cover up the Ricardo Fagundes murder. Before the spit could have dry, they called a press conference to debunk Boscom's claim. They called a press conference. I said that didn't go so well. So as I've said before, I say it again, apparently that experience has so traumatized those persons that they don't want anything to do with media and microphone. Media and microphone is like kryptonite to them. Media and microphone is like kryptonite, so they don't want anything to do with it. But an incident like this requires the police I command to update the public, give information, and to tell them exactly what has gone on. And it's ridiculous. Mr. Conway?
Yeah, Paul, and coming back to the point we make earlier with the arrest of the mayor, there is a the man comes in the place, no searching, nobody search him. And then here is the head of the CID said he's going to involve Interpol. Why didn't he involve RSS? Huh? You frightened they get another RAS report? Yeah? Why didn't we pull in RSS to do the investigation? But Interpol. Man,
Well,
Paul, this thing is
yeah,
thinking, man.
well, RSS came for the murder on the West Coast Bobbies, the Henry boys. They say RSS came, and RSS came. They brought in RSS for the Fagundes murder, and here it
Yeah.
is. They now recognize. Well, they feel that the best person to give them information on this man. I think based on what the media is saying, they wanted a background and all of that. But there's so much thing that they could have told the public, because if you remember, the police are in charge of immigration. At least information as to what the man correct name, what is his nationality, when he come in the country. Because some people say he working at some security company, people say he working at the cleaning company. A lot of things that are non-controversial, a lot of information could have been released to show that you know what is going on. But to stay quiet and to run around the place and allowing for all type of speculation is gross incompetence, perhaps even dereliction of duty. But I'm saying, yeah, they want to really Fagundes murder. RSS, as you said, the RAS report came, right? This one, they're going to Interpol. You have the Sioux gate, no report. So RSS nor Interpol wasn't needed in that. Who is who? They're trying to fool people. But again, as we say, we big, but we are not stupid. We big, we ain't stupid. We can see through all of these subterfuges. Mr. Conway?
I wouldn't be surprised if Home Affairs come out with a statement that what happened there is confidential. And perhaps that is it.
Well, everything now is confidential and top secret. Everything now is confidential, is top secret. Nobody can get to know what is going on. But I'm saying, and not so long ago, just about a week or so ago, the president made a statement that we commented on last week, where he's saying that when he travels around, people are high in praise for the Guyana police force and the other security forces. He mentioned even fire and prison and GDF. I have to laugh. I have to laugh because I say they live in a world and maybe they were buttering him up. They were buttering him up. I can't believe with all that is going on, with all the politicization, the weaponization of the Guyana police force, anybody who know what's going on will make those statements. Perhaps he's telling them that to make them feel nice. You know, they get a little miserly
Christmas
8%.
time.
They get
Christmas
a
time.
miserly 8%. So you're telling them to make them feel nice. But that is not gonna cut it. That is not gonna cut it. People want to see proper action. People want to see proper action. And then yesterday, this place is a lot of joke, Well, let me go back before I go forward to this presidential guard issue again. This man goes in there, and the man, according to them, I hope they can establish by now, because they're saying that the man shoot. And based on the report, any shooting he did had to have been done with the firearm that he took away from the rank. Had to have been done because their report saying that he pulled a knife. When he went in there, from all reports, he only go in there with a knife. And he used the knife to stab the policeman. And then he took away the firearm from another police. And then they claim he went into the street. Thankfully, he did not go fall into the building. So that speaks to motive, because if his motive was to do any injury inside, I can't see him having armed himself with a firearm, then exited the compound. That's just analyzing what. So he came out and they say he fired. I saw in the video on social media, the crime scene people would have been there and they're picking up casing. I hope that by now they are able to establish how many rounds were fired from the pistol that this Nigerian man took away from the security guard, and how many rounds were fired by the policemen who, presidential guard rank, who responded to the incident. All of those things are important. But to come and tell people wrong fire, how many rounds did he fire? How many rounds? Having taken away the pistol from the guard, how many rounds he fired? Then the police responded, they fire. I heard a lot of shots. How many rounds did the police fire? And again, I have a certain skill. Some people just call it marksmanship. Members of the presidential guard, when I was there, people used to train in marksmanship. You go and you train how to shoot. Huh? And here it is, people run behind this man and people shooting, and the man just get winged. They just wing this man. So again, what type of training they have? And you made the point about the man in charge of the guard. I don't think he's capable of properly managing the guard. Let me understand it. You get people, they talk about the skills, cuts and can in management, talk about the skill, technical skill, managerial skill, conceptual skill, and that type of thing. A job like that requires a lot of skill. Not only technical skill and conceptual skill, all the skills it requires. So this man is plucked out from his pre-retirement leave to be in charge of the guard. He's plucked out from his pre-retirement leave. And that you can take that to the bank, because I know that to be so. He was on pre-retirement leave, and on the 2nd of August, he was called by a certain senior politician, and thereafter he went and he took over the presidential guard. Significantly too, the same month of August 2020, several persons were recruited into the presidential guard, direct recruit into the presidential guard. A month after they were recruited, they were promoted to the rank of sergeant. No doubt those persons are there in supervisory capacity, no training. So I asked a question in the letter that I wrote on Sunday, to what extent this might have contributed to the dilution of efficiency and effectiveness of the presidential guard. Because you have people there, 1 month sergeants. I know at the time, the ranks of the force, many ranks of the force were so upset. Men were there as detectives and investigators and things for years. Can't catch a 3-stripe. And people come in and 1 month after. And the most ridiculous thing there was, Mr. Conway, you remember this, that one man was 53 years old when he was recruited. Recruited in 2020 at the age of 53. And in 2021, he gets a letter from the acting commissioner of police, Mr. Nigel Appy, telling him that because of his age, he is due to retire in 2022. And the commissioner thanked him for his 18 months of human service to the Guyana Police Force. I had a big laugh when I see this thing. Those are facts. People, those are facts. This man, people recruited in August of 2020, promoted sergeant in September of 2020. and one of the persons is retiring in 2022. So he recruited in 2020. He gets a letter in 2021 because normally when you're coming off or when you're going into retirement, you get a letter the year before, tell you how much vacation leave and all of that everything you should get. So he gets a letter in 2021 and 18 months, 18 months service, and the acting commissioner thanked him for his 18 months of yeoman service to the Guyana Police Force. So we're saying that if these people, I don't know what training they would have had, definitely none before, at least in the police force. And since recruitment in 2020, I don't know what training they have. I remember when I went to the Presidential Guard in 1994, I discovered a situation where a lot of the ranks there who were direct intakes weren't of the type of training that we had wanted. For example, things like physical training, PT as you just call it. Yeah, we used to do that. And immediately I say, here, let me tell you something. You can be in the Presidential Guard and not be able to do physical training and all of that. And I started a program of physical training and other forms of training at the Guard. I remember I brought people from the TSU to do other training as well, right? So this thing is very important. And as I said in the letter, I'm saying it again, this thing should not be taken lightly. The security of the president and other senior government functionaries should not be taken lightly. This incident should serve as a wake-up call to make sure that proper protocols, proper standard operational procedures are in place to ensure that there's no recurrence of this incidents of this nature. Mr. Conway, I've said a lot. Let me hear you now. Hold on, let me add
Remember
you.
when I remember when there was a change of government and the Cherry and them came into place. They recruited a whole set of cane cutters and farmers from the quarantine and Cane Grove. And I was told, CC, cut down on the rigid training. They must get no rigid training, cut down on the rigid training, So I don't know what's going on. Or maybe it's still there. They have not been going any rigid training. But I say, and like you, the president must have the best security in this land. He is the president of Guyana, and we must ensure that the security is second to none the presidential security. But that doesn't happen. Anybody come in, a man do certain things at Ashman Building, and he's head of the presidential guard. Those them kind of thing. How we could work? We must not sacrifice security for friends and cronies and politicians. Training must be serious, and the security must be A1, must be second to none. Just as how the president is boasting that when he goes around the world and the Caribbean, the people talking good about the police. I think the presidential guard was excluded in those discussions.
Well said. Yeah, Raul, yeah, the age limit of the police force to the regular force is indeed 35. That is how we know it, and I don't think there's any change. But I know for a fact that shortly, well, during August of 2020, several persons who were above that age, 35, with no special skill, were recruited, even though they were advised that that should not happen. The people just went ahead and they did that. So yeah, that is what we have. Now, talking about this training thing and all of that, CC, I know you were the training man. I saw a statement yesterday. Yesterday, I think there was something in Division 3, where the man who sits in the chair made some statement. I found very amusing. Did you see the report that he said to have made certain statements?
Yeah, it was just what we say in ordinary language, waste talk. I said, and I'm going to repeat it again, that training is being treated like an unmarried, unwanted, pregnant stepdaughter. Here, nonsense happening, Paul. If you look, the first training officer is a deputy superintendent who has no training background. The commandant for Georgetown, a assistant superintendent with no training background. The same thing with the Felix Asinco Police College in Borbis. The same thing with the Richard Feichel College in Essequibo. That persons there has had no training background. The instructors worse yet. In my little days in the growing up in the country, we used to use a word. We used to say them is wasserus. You know, that I don't know how first thing, I don't know how they identify training needs. But if I just backtrack a bit, I can remember during the citizen security program, the government spent millions and millions and millions of dollars to do a 1 year comprehensive training program for the Guyana Police Force. I was the point person for that thing. Where instead of we sending the people them to America, we brought America here. We had the emergence group and we conducted 29 training programs for persons from the Ghana Police Force, from senior officer right down to constables. Some of the topics I can vividly recall, like policing multicultural and diverse society, effective investigation, effectively dealing with people, drug investigation, you just name it. We had those programs. And during those programs, we had what we call train the trainers component, where persons were trained to teach those programs there. We had 100, I tell you, we had 29 courses. And the intention was that at the end of the training program, we replicate those training program. For the matter, the IDB sent the vice president who was responsible for training the Caribbean and South America to evaluate our training program. She gave us thumbs up. The IDB also sent, I think, Dr. Carton, who was then a professor at the University of West Indies, to evaluate our training programs, and we got high marks. The intention was to replicate those training programs. I continue. Paul Williams, who is now Dr. Paul Williams, took over from me. He continued, and after him, Hicken took over, and all those programs was I don't know what I do with them because we had the trainers models, the trainees modules. We had hard copy, we have electronic copy. All those things were there. I don't know if they're still there or if termites, woodlands, and other things eat them out. So if when you can talking about training, let's just lose talk because first thing you gotta get needs. Have they done any survey to find out what are the current training needs of the Guyana Police Force? What should be done is that they should do it professionally. They should have what we call a job task analysis countrywide in each division to identify training needs, to look at what the police are supposed to do and what they're doing, and if there are any variants there that could be addressed through training. But training is not all. There must be other things involved too, like conditions of service and salary and all kind of thing there. That you do training because you ask, what would be the benefits of the individual? What should be the benefits of the supervisor? What should be the benefits of the police and and the country whole? I left and I still have electronic and hard copy of a 30-page document talking about training policy and procedure. The British people, when they came here, they gave high praise of that document. All I'm asking, let them go back to the document that talks about training from recruit level to in service to on the job to college to advanced to specialized training. And if you can talk about training, what would be the objective of the training? What would be the methodology, as the case may be? How will they review the training, evaluate the training to find out whether they're reaching out to the thing? Are they looking at best practices? I really don't do. All I hear is talk. And the same McKinney say that the security service going to do a 3 weeks training program. It's nearly a year now. They're not doing no 3 weeks training programs. That's why them security service doing all kind of thing with weapons and other thing. So Paul, the whole thing is a mockery.
You call it mockery. I got an next word for it. We used to call them salawala. Let's
Yeah,
just salawala. The whole thing is
yeah.
salawala. Hear what they say a man who sits in the chair is alleged, is reported to have said on Monday. He said, let me quote here. He said, if we are to remain transparent, professional, and accountable, it is only obvious that we have to put mechanisms in place to ensure that rules, regulations, and policies are maintained. So, what rules, regulation, and policies he's talking about? What rules, regulations, and policies he's talking about? Perhaps one of the first place that should seek to get the rules, regulation, and policies will be the same presidential guard, because it is clear that whatever rules they have there, whatever regulation, this incident shows that those things are not working. But they go about and they make these statements. As I said, enough salawala, enough talk. You talk a lot and say nothing. And that is what is happening, trying to fool people. But again, we big, but we are not stupid. So we are able to see through these things. And wherever you might find cases where the young policemen and members of the public who follow this program are not fully familiar with these issues. That is why we feel compelled to come and to clarify and to peel off the skin from all of this nonsense that they're telling us. Enough talk and no substance. As you rightly pointed out, security guards were to be trained some time ago. Nothing. Only as recent as last week, I understand, is a report somewhere on the East Bank where two security guards opened fire or a security guard opened fire on a man. The story, according to the media, he went into some bar there and he was drinking. He came out to relieve himself or something. He had a beer bottle in his hand. He went back in with the beer bottle. And then sometime after, he came out again, and apparently there was a change in guard. So when he went to go back in, there was a new guard. So he told the guard, said, look, I came out from here. I'm just going in back. Some altercation, the man ended up getting shoot. Man run up the road, they said the guard run and shoot behind him. So what training? What type of training is being done to these people? Now when they guard the police, licensed firearm holder, today, I think it's in the Starbrook News, I think an article or editorial, I can't remember which, speaks about the same firearm issue. And I will commend you. I will implore you to read it because it tells you about what is going on. And I'm not saying that you should read because it quotes me extensively, but the facts are there that the Minister of Affairs said some time ago they have to review the whole issuing of firearm story and so on. Must be reviewed. Only last week we got the incident. A man who's a barber, is a licensed firearm holder. He uses the firearm to kill his wife and to commit suicide. That is what is reported in the media. So many things are wrong, and we don't know what they are doing to correct these things. You know, they have national security advisor. They have another advisor who had filmed the policeman who was sleeping after 18 hours straight duties. They have all these people. What are they advising on? What are they advising on? And the sad thing to me is that you're not seeing anything. You're not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. Every day is something untoward. Every day, and even when they come and they try to do the little politicking, and I see a commander sometime this morning giving somebody some piece of equipment, those things will not work. There's not police work. There's not police work. You can do all manner of things to try to do this big PR thing. But at the end of the day, you are judged by your core functions: prevention and detection of crime, and the successful prosecution of offenders against the same. Right? That is how you are going to be judged. So running around the place, everywhere the president go, whether it's rodeo or to break down some old house to replace it, and you're there, you're cutting ribbon. That is not how the police force will judge. That is not how you will judge. You will be judged. You have to do police work. And I know that many of these people are not capable. You talk about the Peter principle, and that is what is going on. People are out of their depths. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Mr. Conway, any closing remarks from you?
Um, Let me just go back to the training. And to be fair to them, is basically what we had chalk and talk in the classroom. Very little question and answers, discussion, video conferencing, demonstration, heads-on learning, role play, case study, simulation, combination, e-learning. And the thing is about training is that what should happen is not only the technical knowledge that you must train them for, people skill. They must be grounded in people skill. And that is very, very important, people skill, because they want them to do all kind of thing. They want to form community policing group. They want them to interact with the public and all kind of thing. But they have to get the people skill. Now, in my closing, um, I mentioned earlier a couple of sessions ago that I will give them some little idea, things that they can ponder on, things that can titillate them. I want to say that, okay, I told them about the three I's of management: inspect, investigate, inform. I spoke about the five M's: men, money, materials, methods, and minutes. I talk about the three overlapping circle or action centered leadership: Professor John Adar, achieve the task, build a team, and develop the individuals that you need to do at the same time. But I want to leave a quote with them here. And it's an anonymous quote. Here it says, interest and attention are just as important as grease and oil are to machine. Without it, they don't run smoothly, never reach top speed, and break down more frequently. Now, the thing is, there's a school of thought that their subordinates, the people below you, don't give you of their all. They always keeping back something. By saying that if you pay some more interest and attention to them, they will give you a bit of what they're holding back. They don't give you all. And sometimes that is a little bit that you want to make you sparkle. So I'm saying if you pay some more interest and attention to your subordinates, they'll give you some of the little that they holding back. And sometimes that is what you want to make you sparkle. I want to use the opportunity, I think, to wish all the listeners, all the policemen, a happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Conway. And I'm sure on behalf of all of the listeners and all the policemen, we'll want to wish you the same. You know, in ending, I will tell you about usually about COVID and all of that to make sure that you're safe, especially at this time. Rainy season, motor vehicles on the road, people drinking, people going to all type of festivities and all of that. Please be careful. Please be extremely careful. The COVID protocols are to be followed. Don't drink and drive, and you'd be safe at all times. Now, I want to close by telling you, as I indicated earlier, tomorrow going to be 1 year since this program started. Next Wednesday, the 28th, I am not available. It's a special day for me, and with all the Christmas arrangement and so on, I'm not going to be available to do the program. So this program is the last program for this year, 2022. The next program, God Spare Life, will be on Wednesday, the 4th of January in the year 2023. So I want to take this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a Merry, Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2023. And I hope that you are able to, or you are able to achieve all the things that you set out to achieve in 2022. If you have not been able to do so as yet, the year is not finished. The year is not finished. You can dig up and make sure that you complete the task that you set yourself and that you make plans. You know, you normally make New Year resolutions and all of that. So the year 2023 is rapidly approaching. I want to take this opportunity to wish you every success in the year 2023. And as I've said, God spare life. I will see you then. And for now, have again, enjoy yourself. You know, as I said, Christmas is my holiday. Christmas is my holiday. And according to Love in there, the song, you know, it's a cake in the oven baking. Well, me cake done bake. Garlic pork already set. Um, Christmas Day, I command the kitchen. So I have to go and get my stuff for my pepper pot and my fried rice and the ham and the roast pork. The works, the works. So I am getting all set to make sure that I do what I would normally do. Take control of the kitchen and cook all my stuff to make sure that the family and we all have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And I'm wishing you all the same. So until next year, that is Wednesday, the 4th of January, 2023. Bye. And again, speaking out, would like to thank you for all the support you have given during this year. And we look forward to your continued support during the year 2023. We will continue to strive to bring you accurate, credible information, valuable information. So thank you much, and bye for now. See, the broadcast doesn't want this. There's some technical issue here. I'm trying to end the broadcast and it's not ending, so I might have to just close down the computer.